Hey y'all, and welcome back to the Single Mother's Life. And in this video, which was requested, we're going to talk about how to handle a deadbeat daddy. So stay tuned. When we have kids by a man who's not doing anything for our kids, who's not helping us with our kids, who lies, who says he's going to do A but does B, or says he's going to do A but don't do A, B, C, or D, it can be frustrating. It can make us want to catch a charge. We don't play by our kids, but there's other ways to handle it. So before we get started in the video, my name is Latasha. I am an author, speaker, certified life coach, and I am on a mission to empower single mothers to live boldly and confidently to transition into their desired lives. Make sure you check the description box below because I always leave all types of tools and resources down there that may help you on your single mother's journey. Now, I want to give a story of a young lady, a single mother. She actually had a baby by a married man, right? So he was married. She slept with him. She got pregnant, and his wife told him to send baby mama away. So he did what wife said, right? So he sent her away, and she went on about her business. She didn't know what she was going to do. Like, she didn't have the resources to take care of her child. She didn't know where she was going to get the resources from to take care of her child on her own. She lost hope. She thought that she was going to die. She thought that her child was going to die. She didn't know what she was going to do. In the midst of her hopelessness, God came to her, right? He came to her, and he opened her eyes to the resources around her. He opened her eyes to what she could use that would, help her take care of not only her, but her child so that they can live. And God told her, like, listen, I have plans for your son. I have plans for him. He's not going to die because he was created on purpose by me. He was not a mistake, even though, he was conceived by sin. He's not a mistake. It's all on purpose. I have purpose for him. Today I'm gonna give you 3 ways that you can get over a deadbeat daddy. So number 1 is you just have to go on about your life. I know sometimes when we get with men, especially our kids' fathers, we have a special type of bond with them. We have a special type of connection with them to where we think that because we have kids by them, it's supposed to be a special way. We think because we conceive kids together that we're supposed to be together, or we expect a particular outcome from having kids with that person, but it's not always that way. Men have babies with women every day, and they don't even like them. They don't even love them. Babies are conceived by mistakes, by one-night stands. Kids are conceived through rape, through assault. Kids are conceived by, proper planning. But sometimes 2 people do it out of order, or they do it in the wrong season. So a relationship does not happen, okay? So when you're in a situation that you realize that the 2 of you are toxic together, like you and your kids' fathers, you're no good together, then it's time to go on about your life. If you're expecting that man to want you because you want him, you're expecting him to love you because you have kids together, you need to go on about your life. He's saying one thing and doing another. You have to go on about your life. If he's not taking care of the kids, go on about your life, because I say this all the time, you cannot control anybody. You can't control a man. Okay, the only person that you can control is you. You only can control your emotions and your actions. You cannot control what he do and what he do not do for his kids. We have a God who sits high and looks low. And God sees everything. All you have to do is play your part. Do your part and trust that God is going to open your eyes to the resources around you. But you cannot stay in a toxic relationship. You cannot keep reaping, bitterness. You cannot keep reaping discord and strife because he's not doing what you want him to do, or because he's not doing what he said he was going to do, because you're going to miss out on what God has for you. You're going to miss out on what God is trying to open your eyes and show you to do, not only for you but for your kids. And you're going to continue to allow the generational curses to pass down because God is trying to help you and break it off of you. But you're so focused on this man, on what he's not doing, what he is doing. You're so focused on him to where you're allowing him to come back into your life time and time again. And sometimes we keep conceiving kids because we keep allowing this man to come back over and over again because it's convenient for him. A man is always gonna go to what's convenient or what's easy. It's not love. And sometimes we think it's love when we're not taught these type of things. But if he keeps coming back to you over and over again and getting you pregnant and having kids and then not doing anything for those kids or helping you to provide and to raise those kids, then sis, it's not love, okay? It's just convenience. You allowing him to do it, and he's gonna continue to do it, okay? Think about it. I mean, if the bank allowed you to come in and go in the safe and take $100,000 every month, when you do it, you gonna keep going back month after month and taking that money. Same thing with this man. He's coming back time and time again and jumping in your bed and in your life and giving you broken promises because you allow him to. So you have to go on about your life. If it didn't work for a reason. You're not together for a reason. We have to break these cycles, because breaking the cycles mean we're breaking the generational curses. So go on about your life, sis. It ain't always easy because the soul ties are strong, but it can be done. Go on about your life. Number 2, trust God to provide for you and your kids. That man, he may be a deadbeat. He may not, help you, with the resources that you need physically, financially, mentally. You have to trust God to help you with that. I have been a single mother for 6 years. July will make 6 years since I've been in a relationship, since I've been a single mother. My son's dad has been deceased since 2012. So it's been about 9 years. It's been about 9 years since my son's dad left this earth. But I can honestly testify that God has always provided for me. Financially, mentally, when it was getting too tough mentally to do it on my own, God came and strengthened me. He gave me power when I was faint. He gave me strength when I was weak. And he's waiting to do that for you too. But it takes for you to turn your eyes off of that man. Stop depending on that man, a human, who is not perfect anyway, and turn your eyes to the Almighty God, who has all things in his hands for you and your children. He's waiting to bless you, but you have to trust him to provide for you. And it's not easy sometimes because we're human and we have eyes, and sometimes we focus on what we can see, but there's more to what we can see, okay? So trust God to provide for you and your children, and stop putting your hope and your trust in that man, because whatever we trust in more than we trust in God is always going to fail us. Always. No doubt. Like, it may not happen in 1 year. It may not happen in 3 years, 10 years, 15 years, but eventually it's going to happen. Number 3, you have to set boundaries, sis. A lot of us, we just allow anything. We allow anything to come into our lives. We allow anyone to come into our lives. We allow them to do and say anything to us. Yeah, we may leave for a week or 2 weeks or a month. But when we're getting lonely and when we're looking around, seeing everybody else in relationships, then our boundaries and our values go out the window and we go back to what's familiar to us. And that's probably your kid's father. He's not any good for you right now. He's only, going to promise you and your children things, but not make good on those promises. He's going to continuously hurt you and your children, but yet we ignore the boundaries that we set. We have to set permanent boundaries. When I say set permanent boundaries, that means you have to decide on how you're going to co-parent. You have to decide on, when he's going to see the kids. If he's a constant liar, he's always telling the kids, I'm going to pick you up on this day. I'm going to do this on this day. I'm going to do that on that day. Then you have to sit down and have a discussion with him. If he's there yet. If he's not there yet, then you get a mediator. Have your mom be a mediator between y'all. If you're close with his sister, his cousin, someone, have them be a mediator. You don't have to talk to them, have them talk to him. And set times, you're going to get them on these days, depending on the relationship that you both have. And let him know that, hey, you can't keep breaking promises to my kids. Like if you tell them you're going to pick them up one time and you don't pick them up that time, I wouldn't say one time. I have mercy. I give him at least, 3 tries and he's out. If you tell my son, my daughter, or my kids that you are going to pick them up and do this for them and you do not deliver, then that's going to be the last time, okay? You have to, you are in control. Like you have to let someone know what you're going to take and what you're not going to take. And if you two cannot settle it outside the courts, then use the courts. You have to use wisdom, but the main goal is to always keep peace in your life. You don't want to always be arguing and fussing and worrying and going back to a situation that means good and going around in circles and continuously having babies under a one-person household. You don't want to do that. Like, how can you ever live a good life in the life that God has called you to live if you keep doing the things that you're not supposed to do? So some of our, some of these men, some of our kids' fathers, they are the downfall to us. So not saying that they're, the whole piece of the puzzle, because we always got to take accountability. We always got to think about, we laid down with this person, okay? We had a child with this person. I gave my body to this person. So I can never fix my mouth to, wish evil on this person. Because if that's the case, the things I say about them, I should say about myself too, right? I gave my body to them. I had a baby by them. I allowed them to take the most valuable part of me. I created life with them. So have a little mercy, have a little forgiveness. Go on about your business. Trust God to help you provide for you and your children. Trust God to show you what you need to do, whether you need to go back to school, whether you need to pick up a part-time job, whether you need to start that side hustle, that business, doing, what you like to do. Ask God to show you what you need to do. The possibilities are endless. Like, we do not need a man. Like, it helps to have a 2-parent household. That's how God created it to be. But we are already on this page. It's no turning the page, going backwards. We just have to focus on today and make better choices today so that our tomorrow will be a better tomorrow. Not only for us, but also for our kids, because our kids, we're raising them and they're like sponges, and whatever they see us do or hear us say, they're going to do it too. So if they hear us talk about their daddy, if they hear us, always complaining about their daddy, then guess what? They're going to either grow to resent their daddy, or they're going to grow to resent us. So even if you do have a deadbeat kid's father, y'all, I hate the word baby daddy. I just hate that term. But if you do have, your kid's father, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're not taking care of their responsibilities. Try to watch what you say. You don't have to voice it. Kids, they see it. They may not see it now, but as they grow older, they will begin to understand. And you have to give them the right to make the decision as to, how they're going to handle that situation. You don't have the right to step into that and lead their views of their dad. They see it. They see it. And like I said, they may not see it now, but they will see it eventually. So as I close, I just want to say that we cannot do this on our own, y'all. We can't, because these men, they will make you want to, get a butter knife and do something to them, okay? I ain't giving y'all no ideas or nothing at all, but I am saying we can't do this on our own. We have to depend on a force that's bigger than us. And that force is Jesus Christ. We have to depend and draw from his strength. We have to depend and draw from his wisdom. We have to depend and draw from his grace and his mercy. And we have to remember that nobody is perfect. Like, we're not perfect. That man is not perfect. Nobody is perfect. And just as God has forgiven us, we have to forgive him. And I think that when we forgive, it makes it easier to move on with our life. So forgiveness probably should have been number one. Okay? But it makes it easier to move on with our life. So that's all I have for y'all. I really pray, that we can kind of break the cycles and the generational curses that we go through as baby mothers, single moms. I really pray that we can begin to value and love ourselves, so that we don't continue running back to a man just because we had kids with him, or just because he say a couple of words that we like but his actions are not proving it. I pray that, we can just begin to focus on us as women and as mothers, and doing what we like doing, and, just raising our kids and living for Jesus and just enjoying life. That is my goal and my mission. And I love y'all. This video, I'm trying to gear with my videos towards more on my YouTube channel, more spiritual, just kind of like applying the word of God to everyday life. And if you want the practical, then you can join Single Mom Strong Mastermind. It's only $19 a month. You can join that and you can get the practical. For example, I just did a teaching on getting over resentment. So how to stop resenting. A lot of us are walking around resenting our baby fathers because of something he did, or something he didn't do. How he treated us or how he didn't treat us. We're walking around resenting him, and we're walking around with bitterness in our hearts, and not knowing that we're passing that same energy to our kids, not knowing that we're missing out on the blessings that God has for us. And I don't know about y'all, but as a single mom, I need all the blessings that God has for me, okay? It's already hard. I want all the blessings. So I'm not trying to hold any type of resentment in my heart towards anybody. I want to forgive. I may not forget, but I want to forgive real quickly and move on with my life and allow God to get the vengeance, allow God to handle that situation, lay out a table before my enemies, in the presence of my enemies, and give me beautiful ashes, give me double for my trouble, okay? So that's all I have for you ladies. I love y'all, and if you have not subscribed yet, why not?